Our healing journey is wild and unpredictable, and it can be super heavy. And so I want to share a little bit today. Today is day 92 of 100 Days of Surrender. I cannot believe how fast time goes, really honestly. One of the questions that I find myself asking, which I've done for years, which is kind of like a fun thing, is I wonder where I'll be in 6 months. So this journey of 100 days, I had no idea where I was going to be at the end of it. And I just stayed in curiosity, absolute curiosity instead of fear. Curiosity is a much better frequency for us. So it's like, oh, I wonder, and what if, and what could be. And like, I love that vibe. But what I want to talk about today is, are you avoidant, problem aware, or solution aware in regards to your healing journey, your limiting belief structure, your blockages? So my journey, as we all know, it was the messy journey. Um, I was never even problem aware for a lot of my journey. I was avoidant. So I had all of these things happen to me, like very abusive, narcissistic, intimate relationships, even with my family, actually. Um, Even in my 20s, being persecuted or attacked or judged or told I was too much, too strong, um, going through love, having endless failed, well, perceived failed relationships, but attracting the same kind of like a-holes all the time, low vibrational beings. And then I got really unwell. So I started getting unwell, started having problems in high school that was just ignored and pushed off as menses, or me being dramatic, trying to get attention, which is super fucking fun. But anyway, but I would faint quite a bit. And I had body pain endlessly. And that sort of progressed into um, nothing really happened until I started getting this secondary condition where my body attacks my eyeballs and they go bright red and it's excruciating painful. It's called sclerosis or sclerosis. I can't remember. And it just aches through my face like I've had a stroke. So that started happening in my late 20s. Again, I was avoidant. I knew there was a problem, but I had no idea that I was the problem. I had no idea that I was a problem in how I was being persecuted by my family. I had no idea that I was the problem in attracting in low vibrational partners. I had no idea that I was the problem in my body going downwards with my health. So in my 30s, this condition started, which exaggerated the aggressive fibromyalgia that I have experienced. And then that progressed into many other things, to the point where I was walking with a cane. I was told I'd be blind by the time I was 30. Um, I told I would be in a wheelchair and excessively obese by the time I was 30 because my body couldn't cope. Um, all of these like doom and gloom things. And then that was just a roller coaster and up and down of me conquering it, not being solution aware, being problem aware. And then that progressed into excessive like lupus, fibromyalgia. They thought maybe it was MS. They thought for a long time it was leukemia. Like just the medical world's messed up. And then it gave me another condition where my body became allergic to itself. So not just my own eyes. It was kind of a joke with some of my friends that my body's a carnivore and it just eats itself. It's like, what are you going to do but laugh? And they gave me 8 weeks to, they said, you have about 8 weeks with the way things are progressing. You're going to go any day, but up to about 8 weeks maximum. Um, so that was really, really scary. And it was in that I realized the problem wasn't the condition. The problem was my blockages, my emotional blockages, the story I was telling myself. When it came to love and attracting in the same low vibrational beings over and over again, it was validating my limiting belief of love is hard, love is painful. I'm not safe unless I'm being traumatized. I'm not safe unless I can see where the abuse is coming from because it's just always going to be there. So I would intentionally, unknowingly pull in abusers. So that way the abuse was right there and I didn't have to search for it and have it sneak up on me. So avoidant, problem aware, solution aware. And I know a lot of businesses take this approach as well, but I take it on my healing journey. So when we're avoidant, we are just pointing the finger. We're tired. This isn't fair. This isn't fun. It's their fault. I'm abandoned. I was cheated on. I'm unhealthy. It's excuses. Problem aware is when we go, is it me? And I don't want you to get caught up in, oh my God, I'm broken or unworthy or something's wrong with me. But I want you to get caught up on what was I witness to? What did I experience? What do I truly believe? Because in that subconscious, that's what's radiating into your electromagnetic field. Law of attraction is responding to that. So problem aware is, okay, this has to change. And it could be problem aware on, I'm not going to stay in a wheelchair. I'm not going blind. After that, I'm not dying in 8 weeks. That was my problem aware. And then I became solution aware. And change can be scary and uncomfortable because it's sacrifice. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of changes, a lot of, I like this safety zone that I'm in. And now I have to step out of that safety zone and create substantial change. So solution aware is that deep dive into what story, just start with what story am I telling? Because whatever story you're telling, you will continue to experience over and over and over again. When I was at my heightened state of unwell or disharmony in my body, my social media was full of pictures and posts, and my cane, I had a leopard print cane. Um, days where I was, not able to get out of bed, just this like, bleh, here I am, here's my struggles, look at me, I'm navigating, I'm strong, I'm going to fight this. But really, what I was doing unknowingly was seeking validation and comfort because I didn't get any nurturing as a child. I didn't get any comfort as a child, like none. And so I was actively trying to pull in, and that's a subconscious thing. Someone please nurture me and tell me I'm going to be okay. And so that's just focusing on the problem, not the solution. And when I had this epiphany moment where I was like, what am I doing? I'm adding to this. What story am I telling? And it was in that it took to rock bottom. It took to dying, you have about 8 weeks. You might not be here. And it might not take that long either. Like I was having it's called mastocytosis. My body was allergic to itself. So I'd go into anaphylactic attack against my body. And it would get worse and worse and worse and worse every time, to the point where my throat and my eyes and my nose would all be even swollen, couldn't breathe. I'd be passing out, blacking out. Like it was horrible, very scary. Um, and I had to make a lot of change. So I had to change what I was fueling my body with. I had to change my determination to get my body strong, which is why I work out. Well, I work out for a couple of different reasons: to keep my body strong, because to avoid going downhill, also to keep my mind strong, the story strong. I had to really, really evaluate, how am I adding and contributing to this? How am I creating this? Because we are creating our own reality. And that's not an easy pill to swallow at all. That was very, like, I can't believe I've done this to myself. A little hint, if you go and listen to like your favorite songs, your power songs or whatever, imagine past you is the one providing the lyrics to now you. I think I've shared that in another video. And so that was a game changer for me. And then it came into, I can't go fully extreme because I'm not going to sustain it. So what can I do right here, right now to be a better version, a higher version of myself? And so it was a slow, gradual process away from all of those things. And at the time, I was in a semi sort of relationship, a situationship, I guess. And I was feeling unnurtured. I was feeling invisible. I was feeling that my emotions didn't matter. And to this person, they didn't. Um, Borderline narcissist, but not the worst person in the world, just a Scorpio. So anyway, no offense against Scorpios, you guys are feisty. So when I allowed myself to have evidence of, in these connections, these relationships, these situationships, these friendships, these other things, when I was allowing myself to partake in a relationship that added to the feeling of invisible, that added to the feeling of being unworthy, that added to, please just see me, love me. then I was enhancing that within myself. So I had to sit back and write out everyone who was in my life and make some cuts and have that mindset of you did make the team because this is new me. I spent, the first 30 years teaching a lot of things and working as a therapist and a psychotherapist and incorporating all of the tools that I had at that point, but I hadn't fully mastered it. And so the first 30 years of my life, I was abusing myself. I was my own bully. I was tolerating and allowing the shame that I was carrying in with myself, the smack talk I was doing to myself, the ignoring my own needs, the putting myself on the back burner. I was allowing what I was doing to myself to be reciprocated from almost everyone in my life. And so I had to make cuts and I had to go into this space of how do I rewrite my routine, my life, my thoughts, my story, my self-talk, the way I present myself in the world. And I had to get really clear. So then I became solution focused. And in that solution focused, boom, everything started to change drastically and rapidly. And so to start with this whole journey, the biggest thing to be looking at, which is a little bit of a dive and dig, is what story am I holding on to? What story is going on in here? Am I a victim to being cheated on? If you have victim mentality, baby, you are not going to progress. You can't have it. It sucks. And we want to be victim because we were done wrong. But that's not going to change your life. That is focusing on the problem, not the solution. So you have to drop the victim mentality. And that might look like trusting that the things that are not for my highest self are being moved out of my life. And I'm discovering myself through this process. Everything that happens for you, not to you. Really, truly. It's an opportunity to level up, to become more clear, to get really clear. That contrast is I'm not doing that anymore. This is what I desire instead. And so we start to navigate towards what we desire, ache for, because we know exactly what we do not want. So the victim mentality has to leave in order for you to be able to do that. So we're processing. What story am I telling? And how am I adding to that story through my actions, through how I'm talking to myself, through how I'm nurturing myself, through what I'm putting into the world on social media, what types of conversations am I having with my closest friends and my peers, and then get it together. There's some tough love for you. Get it fucking together. You deserve so much more than the shit you've been telling yourself. And we all do it. We all tell ourselves shit subconsciously or consciously. We all hold ourselves back. We all focus at moments. We can get captivated on the problem and not the solution. And it's a big game changer. And it changed my life. If I hadn't done that, I'd probably be dead by now, which I'm really glad I'm not. So there's that. Mine's always extreme, right? Like, would have been dead. Stupid. So don't let yourself hit rock bottom the way I did. Look at your lowest points right now and be like, not enough. I deserve more. Give it to your body, give it to your inner child, give it to your future self. Don't go down. Don't take the bait of fear. Don't take the stories that were given to you. If I'd taken every story that was given to me, holy man, I'd just be like useless on this planet. Because that's what I was taught, that I was useless. And so I'm not doing that at all. I am going to step into, and I have stepped into, the best version that I can possibly be at this moment. And I am actively pursuing what's my highest self. What do I want more of? Not what do I want less of? I'm not putting my focus there. What do I want more of in my life? And how do I show up for that? So yeah, let's do some homework over the weekend. I will probably be MIA up until Monday. I might try to jump on here Sunday, but definitely not tomorrow. I'm taking a me day. All right. Have the most amazing weekend. Happy April. Here we go. We've got big energetic vibes in April and May about leveling up, being forced, being pushed, being shoved into this higher version of ourselves. So I want you to let go of resistance. I want you to let go of that's too scary, that's too uncomfortable. and allow this to happen. And sometimes that looks like absolute clarity on where you're doing yourself wrong. And sometimes that looks like absolute clarity on you don't belong. You're not on the team. Bye-bye. Which are uncomfortable changes. So I want you to trust the process. For our sisters, we have a private membership going right now that is all about step aside, it's my turn. So if you want a little bit of information on that, it's a community of women who truly empower women. It's phenomenal. These women are, whoo, whoo. I'm inspired. I'm in love with this journey. So we've got that available right now. But in the meantime, go to your journal, have a little look at where you're sabotaging yourself, where you're being problem avoidant or problem solution, or sorry, holy man, avoidant or problem focused. And I want you to shift to what's the solution to this within myself. That's all you can do. All right. I will see you guys later. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.